So I heard you're having a bad day. Sorry to hear that. I know those bad ones always stick out like a sore thumb in life. But you know what? You don't have to give up. You're a tough one, you know that? I've been around you for long enough to know. And I gotta say, I'm impressed. Not too much impresses me these days. But you know what? That's an exception with you. You've been awesome from day one. I've always enjoyed the time we've spent together. And honestly, I see great things for you in the future. And if you ever need me, I'm here for you. And don't go counting me out. I'm a pro hero for a reason. I just want you to know you can talk to me. But more than that, I want to talk to you about those nightmares you've been having. I've heard about them. Don't ask me how. I'm practically a mind reader. More important than that, why don't we solve those for you? You know how? By comforting you. It's not the easiest thing to do. You don't need to be scared anymore. Come here. Just relax. Give me a cuddle. Yeah, just like that. You don't need to be scared anymore. They can't hurt you here. And that goes for the nightmares in real life, too. I know you have some of them, too. Whether it be parents or someone who hurt you. They won't be allowed to. I won't let them. I'll make sure each and every one of them that tries to hurt you fails miserably. Don't think I won't. In fact, I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to things like this. Stubborn and talented at fixing issues. They always call me when they need something delicate fixed, and what's more delicate than the dealings of the heart? It's okay. You don't need to worry anymore. I'll be here for you. Okay? It's not just me either. You've got yourself some good friends out there. And don't let anyone tell you that a friend in distance is less than one right next to you. Because a friend at distance might be your best friend. You never know. Distance doesn't separate the heart. It only separates those who think it does. Honestly, I think you deserve the best. And whatever people tell you, those negative things, they try and put you down. They try and make you hurt and be sad. The bullies of life, sometimes they're at home. Sometimes they're at school. Sometimes they're out and about. Sometimes they're people that you think are your friends. But you can't let them win. You gotta make sure you don't give up on yourself. And you know that their words are there because they're jealous of you. Maybe they're jealous of your looks. Maybe they're jealous of your smarts. Maybe they're just jealous and hateful. Sometimes they have pretty bad house lives, too. Just remember, nothing gives you a right to make someone else's day worse. It's about making people's days better. It's about being a person that you can respect and be happy and chasing those dreams that you believe in. Don't let anyone tell you that your dream is invalid or that it lacks anything. Because, let's face it, that's just their own apprehensions. The people who say that, they've not reached their dreams. They think that just because they didn't do it, you can't do it either. Some people even think they're helping when they do that. But I'm going to tell you right now, they're not. They think they are, and they might have good intention, but that doesn't fix the fact that they're causing you beautiful person right in front of me. To feel like you're less, or that your dreams aren't valid. You can be whatever it is you want to be. You can get that dream job. You can ace that class. You can become an artist. You can do a million different things. And all you need to do is stop saying I can't. Do you know how many times in my life I've said I can't and it wasted time? I can tell you. It's been easily hundreds, maybe even thousands of times. And you know what? It took me a long time to realize it, that you have to fail in order to succeed. You have to be willing to make mistakes and look like a silly person in order to be that person who's that prom king or queen, or that actor in the spotlight. All they are really, those people you look up to, are just people that failed more times than me or you. It doesn't make them better. In fact, it doesn't make them worse either. Nobody's better than anyone else. Nobody's worse. That goes for you too, kiddo. I don't want you to ever say anything bad about yourself, or that you don't deserve to be happy. No, you deserve everything. And if you're willing to fight for it, you can get it. Just don't forget, life isn't meant to be easy. Nobody ever said it was. Only people who have this disillusion that if you get higher in the world, it gets easier. No, it gets harder. There's diminishing returns and things that don't go your way. Life is how you face it. And those terrible scars in the past can either haunt you every day of your life, or you can say, I'm not going to let them anymore. Now, I'm not saying it takes just a day or something. It's a process for some people. For some, it may happen in a day. For some, it might take years. But the point is that you try. You try and you fail until you succeed. Remember, talent is just effort. Effort placed to something. And you can definitely do effort. You can put effort into something. So you're just as talented as me. You're just as talented as that person with their name in the lights. You're just as talented as All Might. You have a hero's heart. You just have to find it. Every single person that would put you down, they can't reach you. They can't make you less of a person, unless you yourself doubt yourself. It takes time, but confidence is contagious, and it's something we all need. The more we're confident in ourselves, the less the words of others hurt, and the less the doubt of others hurts. Did you know that I wasn't real good with my folks? A long time ago, I spent a lot of time trying to be what they wanted me to be. I spent so much time, actually, that I lost a good portion of my life doing that. Now, I could look at it one of two ways. I wasted maybe 5 or 6 years wasting time, doing nothing with myself, gaining nothing. Now I could either go and wallow in defeat like I did for another year or so, or I can face it and say I'm not going to waste any more time. I don't like my life as it is, but I'm going to make it something I like. And don't give me the excuse you can't. Kiddo, I know you can. Doesn't matter what the circumstance is. Sometimes it's patience that you need. Other times it's action. You have to figure that one out. I can't do it for you. But the more you think about it and the more you work on it, you'll always improve. It takes time. It takes understanding why you failed, so studying really is just taking away from failures. Trial and error is key. There's a million different answers to a million different questions that have to do with it, but scars are what you make them. They can either be a trophy on your body to show you that you survived, or a marred reminder of what you're not. Now, I suggest for sake of your sanity, that you don't focus on what you're not. If you're not something and you want to be something, be the best you can be. Never compare yourself to others. Life's not a competition. The more people try and make it a competition, the less it matters in the end. The more you end up with this sad feeling of defeat and sadness, the more you end up just wishing you weren't you, because there's someone inevitably better or something, when in reality, they're not better than you at all. Nobody's better than anyone else. I'm not better than you. And you need to hear that, and really take it to heart. Because I know you. I know you well enough to know that you don't treat yourself all that nicely all the time. I'm not saying you have to be some kind of saint that goes and does everything in a particular manner or whatever it is. That's not anything of the sort. What I'm telling you is that you need to understand. Life is short. And if you don't make it what you want it to be now, you're gonna regret it later. And you can't tell me that you don't want your life to be your dreams. Come on. I'm not buying it. Just because someone tried to take away your dreams before, to steal everything away from you, doesn't mean that you're not special. It doesn't mean that you're not amazing. Because to me, you're inspirational. You're someone that helped me through a tough time. And you're someone that, well, I have a lot of respect for you. But you gotta turn around and accept yourself for who you are. And don't deny it. Don't you dare deny yourself. You deserve better than that. And I'll fight you on that one if you need me to. That's not all. I will give it my all to prove to you all these points that I've said, not that I should have to. If you look in the mirror and you don't see someone beautiful, you should ask yourself, why don't I accept myself? What makes me not good enough? Because honestly, there isn't an answer to that. You are good enough. Don't go and criticize yourself because of what someone else said. What some jealous jerk says doesn't define you. What those negatives of the past, those haunting ghosts, and all those absolutely terrible nightmares that haunt you, you can tell them no just as much. That monster that hunts you in your dreams. You know, that monster used to hunt me too. Till I turned around and gave him a piece of his own medicine. I'm not telling you you have to beat the crap out of a monster. But that's one way. When you face those demons, when you face all that negativity in life that comes out that way, then you can properly destroy it or rise above it. It all depends on what it is. What I want you to do is focus on accepting where you are when you are in your life. Don't you dare say you're not this or you can't do that. It's not if you can't or not. It's about when you do it. There is nothing you can't do. Nothing. If there is a will, there is indeed a way. And so, muster up that will. Don't let any apprehension get to you, because if it does, all that's going to happen is make you sad and feel like you're not doing anything. Nobody likes to feel like they're not going anywhere. Not moving, not improving, not doing any of that will lead to depression and sadness. Now, if you've already got it, it doesn't change anything. You're not any more forlorn than anyone else. If you suffer with it for a day or a lifetime, it's never a matter of if you have to or not. Instead, it's a matter of how you face what you're given. There's many problems in life. Things that are meant to bring us down, or rather, we have a choice in how they're perceived. Many view things such as depression and sadness or PTSD as things that are insurmountable, impossible to get by. And I believe to you, that's only half true. You might still have to deal with it for a lifetime, depending on what it is. That doesn't mean it has to own you and define who you are. It doesn't mean you have to let it win. You can always put up a fight. There's so much in life that you can fight for. But I want you to fight for yourself. I want you to accept that beautiful person I'm looking at right now. I want you to look in the mirror and say, I'm good enough. And I'll be even better. That's the only way to live. If you don't accept that person for all those faults you see in that mirror, that you think you see, and say that you're acceptable, then you're just cheating yourself out of happiness you could be enjoying. Instead of criticizing yourself, why not give yourself a compliment? Tell yourself, I did pretty good at this or that today. Or maybe you haven't yet. Why not try something? Something you really enjoy, like singing or drawing or whatever that may be. It doesn't really matter. The point is that you do something you love. Otherwise, let me tell you, darling, what's gonna happen to you is not gonna be so nice. If you live life and you don't do what you want, you think you can't do it, or you say that you're not good enough, you're gonna regret that later, where you're going to end up in a job or situation that ends up making you sad. It's not that you need to make the most money. It's not that you need to live the life at the top 0.1%. It's that you have to accomplish the goals which are at the cornerstone of your heart. What is it that makes you live? What is it that you want to do more than anything else? Answer that question, and you have your very first step. Answer that question, and you can do amazing things. Don't try and answer it all at once either. It's okay to take your time or to not know. Make sure those dreams of things you say, hey, I really want to do that. You don't just leave them at that. Don't say, I can't do that because of this or that. It's empty. It's empty if you make it, but it's full of things if you actually choose to pursue it. One of the most important things to me that you do is to not blame yourself for things. No matter what's in the past, no matter what you faced in your life, don't you ever stop and think that you're unforgivable. It doesn't matter what you've done. You're here now. You survived, whatever it is. Maybe you made some mistakes. Maybe they haunt you still. I've done that before. I'm still haunted by some of my mistakes, even now. That doesn't change the fact that I am very much stubborn. I think in life you have to be a little stubborn. You probably wouldn't believe this, but back in school, I used to say yes to everything. It didn't matter what it was, I would just say yes to it. I couldn't say no. But you have to understand, that's a sign of lacking self-respect. I was a pushover. Let anyone take advantage of me and push me around. You know what that means? That meant I didn't have a sense of self. And you won't either if you do that. You can't always be looking at others to distract yourself from not looking at yourself. You gotta face yourself one day. And the sooner you do it, the happier you'll be. I can promise you that. Because that self that you're feeling negative things towards, if you minimize it, you don't say no when you don't believe in something, and you just say yes because you're afraid to say no, you'll regret it. You'll get into situations. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a decision in business. Maybe it's a decision in school. Maybe it's a decision at the home. It doesn't matter what the situation is. But it matters that you have the courage to stand up for yourself and say, no, I don't believe in that. Or no, that's not what I want to do. I'm not comfortable with that. You stand your ground and you don't back down to anyone. Doesn't matter who they think they are. You know, one thing that makes me the saddest at least at certain points, is how sometimes age. For instance, how kids sometimes don't get any respect from their parents. Yet their parents expect them to respect them for nothing. They act like the fact that they gave birth to you or raised you gives them some kind of entitlement. That's just not true. You are not their slave. And you are no more or less than they. You are their equal, not below them. And it's very important that you never treat yourself as less. A lot of times it kills people's confidence because their parents end up, well, shooting them down. They ask for respect and then treat them without it. It gives a really skewed perspective and it doesn't make anybody feel nice. I'll tell you that much. It's okay for you to stand up even to them. If you truly believe they're not treating you with respect, don't be afraid to fight for what you believe in. Not promising that it won't go, well, perfect. Because obviously there's some bumps in the road when dealing with things like that at home. But there's many applications to this, and I want you to think for a moment. Make sure that you're treated properly. Don't you ever back down. Not on defending yourself. You're not anyone's pawn. You're not below anyone. It doesn't matter what the bully said. It doesn't matter what the abuser said. It doesn't matter what anyone said. It matters what's in your heart. It matters what's between your eyes and what's deep in your soul. You know what? Whatever you believe you are, whatever you want to be a better you. Don't want to be anyone else. And if you do think you're striving to be someone else, don't waste the time. Because if you really do try and be someone else, you'll never get to see how amazing you are. I can see it, though. I can see it in those big, beautiful eyes of yours. There's nothing I can't see the potential for. You're amazing. And I want you to know it. I want you to feel it, not just know it. I want you to tell me that you're going to try your very best and tell me that you're going to do it. Sometimes trying's not good enough when it's something that doesn't take very much effort. I'm going to grill you on this. So you better. If you don't take care of yourself, I'm going to be after you. I'll make sure I don't give you head pats like this. And I'll put you through hell and back if I have to. My point is, love and dreams and things like that, they're fine and dandy. Self-acceptance lets them happen. If you want to make a dream come true, if you want to make your dream of, let's say, making a manga or being an actor, it doesn't matter what it is. I just use the ones in entertainment because usually parents say it's luck. You know how many times I've heard that in my life? That it's luck that some massive actor became that way, and it's not. Luck is maybe 5%, and luck is not sustainable. Which is to say, if you get lucky and you get a quotation marks big break in something, the only way that that's going to lead to you becoming one of the best at what you do is if you put in the time and the effort and the passion. And if your passion to be the best you keeps going, you'll never stop going up. You'll reach any dream you set your heart to, and once you accept yourself, it allows you to put that passion towards things you want to instead of worrying about if you're good enough. And no matter what anyone says, it doesn't matter if they're your parent, your lover, your brother, your sister, your anything. Never let what they tell you, if it's putting you down, or they think they're above you, never let their words beat out your heart. because they'll make you believe it. Abusers always do that, whether they intend to or not. They make you feel sad. They make you feel incredibly contained in a box where you're claustrophobic and you can't move. They'll strangle you of your intention, and they'll make you not want to do anything. And instead of letting them win, why don't you prove them wrong? All those doubts that they tell you, you prove them wrong in the most self-respecting way you can. You tell them, if they tell you you can't be an animator, you start making animations on your own time. You start storyboarding. You start at the most basic building blocks of whatever it is you want to do. And you prove them wrong. I know you can do it. If not, I wouldn't be so serious about this. If you want to succeed, you don't need to do anything that anyone else says. You need to do your own self-acceptance and study of whatever it is you do. Studying by itself doesn't get you anywhere. Sure, basic knowledge can be handy. It's good for the brain. If you're just learning arbitrary information and memorizing it, it doesn't change anything. But if you're pursuing a passion that you have, no matter what the category, that passion will come to fruition. If you're patient, if you nurture it, if you don't give up on it, or yourself. Whenever you have a doubt, tell yourself that everyone who's ever been in that position of drawing something, of working towards something, of acting that, of saying that, of making that thesis, of whatever it is, every single person who's ever sat in that chair where you sit has been through the same feeling. And they had to push through it. I'll say it again since a lot of people miss this one. Life isn't meant to be easy. Life is meant to be hard. But when you work hard for something you believe in, it's not work anymore. It's pure passion. And the follow through of something that is more than yourself. You become a better you by doing what you believe in. Now, there's no way, one way, at least, do all this. You just need to find your own path. Don't follow in the footsteps of anyone else. It's fine to use someone else's inspiration, but try and be the best you, not the best them. If they inspire you, that's great. But don't let them intimidate you either. A lot of people like to get competitive with things. It was once said to me that, well, what about race car drivers? There's always someone who wins and someone who loses, right? So they're in constant competition of each other, right? Or maybe an Olympian running the fastest race in the world. Now, do you think for one moment that they're concerned about the others when they're running for that finish line? When they're driving for that checkered flag? No. They are alone in that moment. Against themselves. The only competition you have at being the best you can be is yourself. And the sooner you accept that beautiful person that I see, the sooner you can reach that epic point of your life where everybody's looking up to you instead of you looking up to them. Now, wouldn't you like to see that? Some bully that said you couldn't do it. Or maybe it's your parents doubting you. I know my parents doubted me, and look at me. I'm teaching at UA and a pro hero. So I'm sure you can see that they ate their words. They thought my power was silly. It could never be put to use. You know what I did? I practiced. My power used to be so quick. I could block the powers out for just a moment. Then I practiced. First, I criticized myself. I wasted the time, I did. But you don't have to make the same mistake I did. You can be the best you can be if you let yourself have the time. Hone your passion. Make life into whatever it is you want it to be. If you don't like it, change it. Everything in life can be changed, for the most part. And don't focus on the things you can't. Those things aren't important. Because chances are something in that list of things that you would love to do, you can do and find a new way of doing it. If you've been stopped, if you've been discouraged, if you've been hurt. Hurt is probably the worst one for me. When I'm hurt, it makes me cry a lot. Yeah, even me. That doesn't stop me from pushing onward. Because you know why? Once I started doing what I love, I realized it's not just about accepting myself anymore. It's about being proud of myself. And I know you. I know you want to be proud of yourself. You don't just want others to be proud of you. Sure, maybe that's great too. It does feel good to have others be proud of you. But if you're proud of yourself, that's where true learning can happen. When you're proud of what you do, you perpetually focus on what you can do better. I want you to focus on being the best you. I love you a lot. You're an amazing person. But I need you to accept the fact that you're amazing. If you don't feel amazing, then it's not too late to accept that beautiful person in the mirror. I'd love to see it. So what do you think? Does it all sound acceptable to you? Come here, kitty. You'll always be my kitty. You don't have to worry about all this. I wasn't trying to give it any kind of harsh turns. I just believe in you. And I know you don't believe in you yet. And I want to see that day. I want it to be soon, not later. Never put off what you can do today until tomorrow. You'll get lazy that way. It's okay to be lazy sometimes, but you know what? Let's go out and get a nice milkshake. And after that, since you owe me a milkshake, you can use that as inspiration to show me what you can do. I'd love to hear back from you, too. Tell me all those things. Show me them. Don't be afraid to share things you're proud of. Don't let one slip-up get you down. Even 1,000,000 of them. I'd like to say that I'm the one who failed probably most of all of anyone that I know. And that's my power, if you want to get technical. You get better through failing if you learn from your mistakes. Never be afraid to make those mistakes, because they will define you. Only until you learn from them. They should never hold you back. If you have to look like a clown once to look like a hero for the rest of your life, wouldn't it be worth it? That's how I view things anyways. Now, what do you say? You just gonna let me buy this milkshake and never pay me back with that self-respecting, self-satisfying smile? I want to see you smile. And not just for others. I want to see you smile because you're happy with who you are. That's the spirit. Come on, kitty. Or should I call you cutie? Well, why not both with a head pat on top?